This is Scovillain, the spicy pepper Pokémon. It evolves from Capsakid, the other spicy pepper Pokémon. They were introduced in Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet as a part of the 9th generation to acknowledge the popularity of peppering plates with piping hot pepper plant products for prepared palates in the particular places that Paldea pulls from. Scovillain was the very first grass-fire type. A fire-breathing plant with opposable leaves, a hot temper, and a tendency to bite. We're doing something a little different today because I've been doing something a little different every day. It is the only Pokémon that can learn the move Spicy Extract, which increases the attack stat of an enemy or ally but lowers their defense. It makes others reflect the way that it feels, violent but vulnerable.
Many a player were disappointed by Scovillain. As the first of its kind, the reception at first was anything but kind. Being a mixed attacker with low defense and speed, Scovillain was largely left behind in the meta in favor of its contemporaries. But there is another specific reason why the spice-spewing split attacker has been especially spat on.
Scovillain is the grass fire type I've wanted for so long, which makes it even more disappointing how hideous it is.
And then it evolves into Scovillain and it's ugly.
You know, the Scovillain shit, like it's just ugly, ugly stuff. Very, very scary, ugly stuff. Hate it. I hate them so much.
You know how you spell ugly? You.
The only thing spicier than this Pokemon is the discourse surrounding it. Scoville is the scale on which spice is measured. Scovillain really puts the Scoville in Scovillain, but it does not put the villain in Scovillain. Villain. The bad guy, because everyone thinks Scovillain is bad. Its stats, bad. Its design, bad. Its political opinions, bad. Good is not something that Scovillain has been allowed to feel. Not every Pokemon needs to be cute or cool. Sometimes they can just be unique, but standing out is frowned upon by the masses and ridiculed as weird. There are no ugly Pokemon, only ugly opinions. Everyone sees the Scovillain, but all I see is the Scovictim.
The only thing uglier than this is this!
Scovillain is moody. Sometimes it's in a good mood. Memories cross its mind that bring it joy and make it laugh as it reminisces about the movies and Sco video games it likes. Other times it grumps through life with a chip on its shoulder, freshly scooped from the salsa. It's agitated because it has fire coursing through its veins. The spicy chemicals impair its thinking and make it lash out in response. Haters repeatedly poking the pepper aren't helping either. Scovillain that are not moody are instead prone to insomnia. This is either the result of one head always being awake and bothering the other, or the abuse keeping them both up at night. The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude, they say. That's why Scovillain is so upset, because neither side of it ever gets any time to themselves. Even though the peppy pepper Pokemon always has company, the onslaught of insults still makes it feel alone.
You, sir, are extremely bold.
People were disappointed that the evolution line ended here. They said that it needed more time to cook. Hydreigon had set a precedent for Pokemon that gain additional heads as they evolve. Players raising a Capsakid expected Dodrio, but instead got Weezing. They say 2 heads are better than 1, but apparently even 2 isn't enough. The reason it stops at 2 is because Scovillain's heads represent the muses of comedy and tragedy, and there is no third mask. Some Scovillain rarely evolve to have both heads be red, meaning its entire existence is tragedy. Spice. Spice is an acquired taste. The weaker among us just refuse to give it a chance. If a third evolution stage existed, it wouldn't make players come around on Scovillain, they would only praise this hypothetical brand new Pokemon instead. In response, fans demanded a strong grass fire type and a cool Hydra-inspired grass dragon. And in each DLC, they got both things, but neither were related to Scovillain. It is not show problem, it's not their problem either. It's not anyone's problem because nothing is wrong. Scovillain can't be fixed, yet fans continued trying to turn it into something that it is not. Scovillain has met the sad fate where no one appreciates what you are, only what you could be, but never will be.
Sometimes when you become more than what you are, you become less of what you were. And the parts of you that grew aren't parts of you at all.
Thank you, Comrade Trip, from the YouTube channel Comrade Trip, whom I am pointing out by name because I feel like people won't get the parody this this time. In the spirit of going back to our roots, let's discuss the pre-evolution, Capsakid.
Capsakid is kind of ugly and looks like a weird rat.
It's kind of ugly, not gonna lie.
Did they have to look like this?
I was scared. I hated it. And that's exactly why I need to know about these things.
Even baby isn't safe. Its entry for Pokemon Scarlet reads, the more sunlight this Pokemon bathes in, the more spicy chemicals are produced by its body, and thus the spicier its moves become. That one Scovillain with 2 red heads was actually just sunburnt. Capsakid really puts the kid in Capsakid, but it's the sun that puts the capsaicin in Capsakid. Capsaicin is the chemical responsible for what we know as spiciness in the capsicum genus of fruit. Capsakid uses capsaicin as a sort of venom to ward off predators with its bucktooth bite. The teeth of these Pokemon are seeds, and these seeds are prized in Paldean cuisine for their capsaicin content. But seeds don't actually produce capsaicin. Why would they? They're seeds. They don't have anything grown yet. The inner flesh where the seeds are stored is actually what holds the most spice. Scovillain isn't ugly, it's hot on the inside. The spice from the pith merely coats the surface of the seeds, causing the capsa confusion. We are not born spicy, we have spiciness thrust upon us, which is why Capsakid is not a fire type. Capsakid becomes dual-typed and dual-headed after giving it a Firestone. The demand for Scovillain to grow a 3rd head was always dead in the water because Pokemon that evolve from an evolution stone historically do not evolve again. Unless we're talking about a different kind of evolution. Through sheer force of will, Scovillain maximized the spicy chemical, stimulating its brains to become what it thought it needed to be. And it was the same song again.
It was a cool 2-headed dragon, and now it's wearing a tie. And a tacky one at that!
As we have learned from Dudunsparce, better stats aren't enough to make everyone happy. And as we have learned from Mimikyu, the only way for you to be accepted is to become something you are not. It's all about appearances, not what's inside.
Pokemon can only Mega Evolve when they have reached the peak of their evolution already, killing the possibility of a 3rd evolution at the neck once and for all. Mega Scovillain doesn't grow a 3rd head because Mega Evolution does not ripen Pokemon into a new form, it merely spices up what is already there. Base Scovillain's pants and pose evoked Wild West cowboys, and it Mega Evolves into the evil cattle baron who buys the town's land and throws it to the mercy of its oligarchy. Scovillain goes from dual-minded to business-minded. To rise above the belittlers, it became the bad guy they wanted. You either die a Habon hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the Scovillain.
Sometimes I struggle with hot sauce because the heat makes my head itch, which is miles more unpleasant than the spice.
Eating spicy food famously causes pain, and it can make the body react in unexpected ways. The challenge of conquering high-stakes food is often more enjoyable than the food itself. Finizen are known to get high on the toxins produced by quillfish for fun. Spice is the equivalent for human beings. And when the Scoville level is high enough, the label may as well just say poison.
Ow! Ow, my tongue! Ow! Oh, fuck! Okay, we got... Ow! 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 My fucking tongue hurts so fucking bad!
That man right there is the artist formerly known as Mumkey Jones, a self-proclaimed depression expert and spicy snack tester. Now and again, I send him hot sauce and It DVDs in the mail. My favorite hot sauce is Crystal Hot Sauce, derived from the Mega Crystal for Scovillain. I have it with my eggs in honor of Peps, my Scovillain, who was cruelly murdered by Penny's Vaporeon during my Violet Nuzlocke 3 years ago. I foolishly believed that poor Peps could defeat the popular Pokémon with his super effective Seed Bomb attack, but I was sorely mistaken as Peps was outsped and slain in one shot by the 3rd of the type trio that he lacked. This pepper was plucked too soon. Sometimes you try your very best but still come up short. Sometimes you unavoidably let everyone down. Sometimes you just don't have the sauce. It's not fair. What did Scovillain ever do to deserve this? You take one look at it and you think you know the mon behind the masks? What makes the spicy pepper Pokemon so replaceable that persnickety people and preppy privileged pocket monsters can pick them off one by one and prance on and on gone?
I'm Vaporeon.
You don't understand. You all understand! Don't understand. Scovillain didn't do anything wrong! Wake up, Reupload! Don't you look at me like that! You didn't know the poor sprout like I did! Sure, on the surface, Scovillain looks like a mean older brother who is always teasing his little brother for kicks. Every day he'd pick on the little guy because he's a wimp and an easy target. But you all should know by now that Scovillain has 2 faces! It's an average day at the park. Scovillain is chilling on the bench, trying to relax, chowing down on some spicy and mild snacks. That's when one of his heads spots something unsound. His little bro being bullied by other kids on the playground. Scovillain tosses the treats, gets to his feet, and moseys on over to the hoodlums from the streets. Hey! That's my fucking brother! His flair scares the ne'er-do-wells back to their caregivers, and he takes his kid brother home safe. Don't you see it now? Scovillain may look mean and may act rude, but has another side, softer, often misconstrued. When you are routinely mistreated and bullied, you develop armor to toughen yourself up so that their words can't pierce you anymore. But the walls you put up for your safety may keep out friend and foe alike. It feels like just yesterday that I was talking to him. I have been saving a tiny but potent vial of hot sauce for a special occasion. Now is that occasion.
Mate.
Huh? Ah! Oh no! Hi! Get up! Hi! Hi! No! 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 You! You salad head! He went fully mad because of you! Why didn't you stop him? No, it was his shortcomings as a trainer that led to this. If you can't handle the heat, then get out of the kitchen.
What? Wait, where are you going? You can't just leave. He's dead! Eh? Bloody hell!
Yeah, you're okay! I certainly do not feel okay. Why were you... I just needed a moment to lie on the floor and feel like garbage. Whatever for? Whatever not for? My creative endeavors are trapping me. I have no money. Death takes us all lying down. A pipe outside my house exploded. And worst of all, nobody appreciates Scovillain. No, that's not true at all. Plenty of people like Scovillain. Oh yeah? Where are they? Here! What? In Pokemon Legends ZA?
What is this side quest in the DLC? Scovillain's Spice Off? Wait, you're telling me there's an entire eatery of eccentric spice stands who enjoy, nay, love Scovillain?
Pokemon's first fire grass guy. 2 heads, peppers. He's a friend. I like him. I do like him a lot.
Scovillain. I love this Pokemon.
I don't care what anyone says about Scovillain. This Pokemon is awesome.
I love Scovillain. This Pokemon is so freaking cool. The design, A+. The name, A+. The typing, incredible. One of my favorite Pokemon ever.
They don't care about its looks because they appreciate its taste. Of course! Pokemon Legends ZA is where Scovillain shines. Without turn-based combat, speed is irrelevant, and a nasty plot-boosted plus-move-powered Solar Beam is a god killer. It just needed the right environment to truly blossom. Eureka! That's it! Scovillain seems to be widely disliked because it isn't mainstream. It's a cult hit! It's a cult hit! Only the cool kids can come around to it. Scovillain teaches us that in the end, you don't have to prove yourself. Even if you can't reach a wide audience, you can still find your audience.
This reality I'd observed, all of this negativity, it was all in my own head. Beauty and positivity can be found if we simply look for it instead of closing our eyes and resigning that it doesn't exist. and perhaps as we search, we may unearth material that will redeem then the idea that Scovillain is good! Redeem the idea that Scovillain is good! These are the two sides of the debate, just like Scovillain's two heads, one happy about what it is, the other angry about what it is not. The pro-Scovillain players represent the comedy mass because they have accepted reality and grown fuller, and the anti-Scovillain haters who fail to acknowledge that the world will not change for them. That is the true tragedy. Green is truth, red is ideals. Scovillain represents the dual nature of the human spirit. So I will defend Scovillain because, as we all know, it's not going to defend itself.